Hey, what's good, people? This is Upgrade Your Mindset with Luis Suarez. Today's topic, I plan to cover something that may come off controversial, especially to you super sensitive types. You're actually the ones that I want to address, as a matter of fact. But before I do that, I want to thank the people who are watching. I appreciate y'all. Right now, the number is low, but I hope that in the next coming months, as I put out more content and I build the algorithm, that number goes up. I want to thank EO for having me on the panel the other day, and I was able to just give a little bit of my insight. For those of you who have seen my videos, I'm sure you've noticed that most of my content covers a variety of topics, especially outside of women. I know that many of you are only interested in learning about women because you feel that that's where your biggest problems reside. But truthfully, before we get to women, you have to address the other issues that are giving you issues with women to begin with. A lot of you want the cheat codes and the shortcuts when it comes to dealing with women, but we have to start the bottom. We have to start at the foundation. We have to break down that fucked up project that you conditioned yourself to build, because truthfully, that's what it is. It's a conditioning. And we got to address the things that have you thinking in a way that's fucked up. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to upgrade that mind. And, I hope to do that in a different variety of ways. That's why I try to find any unique way where I could deliver the message and it could captivate with many of you. But going into today's topic, like I said, this come off controversial, and I hope it does. Not to the point where, this video doesn't get out there to the masses, because we already know how things are out there. But what I get into is how gullible many of you are, how easily swayed and naive many of you are with everything you see, whether it's on the news, whether it's on social media, whether it's other content creators. It just blows my mind how quickly you guys are able to just follow and listen to something that, even though they're blatantly showing you it's a lie, you're willing to believe these things as if there are facts. And when the facts are presented to you, you're in complete denial. There was a couple of videos ago that I made a video when it came down to the truth and lies, how many of us gravitate towards lies instead of the truth. And what I'm seeing in today's society that's very alarming is how brainwashed this society is. Now, in this information age that we are in now, and this social media and just this propaganda that's out there, where we're led to believe certain things, more now than ever, people are walking around like zombies, like fucking robots, willing to listen to anything that's spewed out there. The proof is in the pudding. And a lot of these issues, these so-called quote unquote issues that we're having today, are lies. They're misleading. They're deceitful. You know what I'm saying? They're put there to follow a narrative, a false narrative that's just leading us to self-destruction, leading us to create barriers and limitations in front of us, leading us to put ourselves in a box, leading us away from success, leading men away from masculinity. I gotta keep it a buck, man. I gotta keep this shit 100. A lot of you out there are brainwashed with a lot of this bullshit. We're taught to think that there's hate going on out there. There's all this hate towards these groups, as far as race, sexual orientation, color of skin, language. Now, is there hate somewhere? Of course. This isn't a perfect world. But is it as prevalent as they're making it seem? No. They're blowing this shit out of proportion. You know why? To manipulate your mind. To have us going up against each other and really hating each other. They're creating the hate and you're not seeing it. You know, there's no, when I walk outside my door on an everyday basis, I don't see hate, man. I see us living in a time now that's as as it's ever been. Never have we been more diverse. Where you see black, whites, Spanish people working together, networking as friends on social media. Look at people's social media pages. Look at their friends. I see diversity, but the news is telling you that there's racism. This notion of racism. About 80 to 90% of the shit that you see is all fake. It's all bullshit. And you may say that's an opinion, but I'm somebody of color, right? And growing up, you know, I seen people of color in high positions. And, you know, when I'm also kind of a little bit of an old soul. So I do my history. You know, I research my history, man. And I look at, you know, times back then. And as far as what history has told me, I know that there was a time where things weren't like they are now. You know what I'm saying? Where things were segregated and people had certain rights. And I get that. But we're at a time now where things are so diverse that sky's the limit. That each race could pick out somebody that made it, that is proof that our skin color and our race doesn't hold us back. The opportunity is there. There's people from the past that opened up the doors for us to be where we're at. You know what I'm saying? Like let me tell you something. This social media thing, while I'm grateful that I'm able to be on social media and deliver these messages, and it's given me a platform, I could relay these messages to others. And not only that, but it's also easy to find information now more than ever before. You know what I'm saying? The access to information is incredible. While I'm grateful of that, it's also like a gift and a curse, because this social media information age, the information that gets thrown at us is almost, it goes through like a filtration system. It's monetized. And the information that we're receiving is all to fit a certain narrative. It's all telling this make-believe story that we're all believing. It's fictional. You know what I mean? And listen, I know that this comes off as like insensitive and, you know, like I'm being ignorant. But man, like I've been in different situations, man. I come from, you know, a place where, trust me, I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, where I've never been around, you know, people of low income. I grew up on government housing. I grew up, you know, my mom receiving welfare. I grew up around people that were in gangs, and I grew up around all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And when I was younger, I had a certain mindset because I was ignorant. I was ignorant at a young age. But now that I've grown and I see the world for what it is, and I remember when I was young, we didn't have all this social media shit that was brainwashing people. It was just, people were just living. People were just watching TV. We were just living. The way they've been able to capture the minds of even young people nowadays is truly it's crazy. It's crazy to me. I never in my life I would have thought that people would be so tragically brainwashed and led to such nonsense. We're seeing an incident on television and we're blowing it up bigger than what it really is. You do realize, right, that there are thousands of incidents that happen in one day. Thousands. But we're putting a microscope on one incident. The media is, and they're replaying it over and over and over again. Why do you think they're doing that? And causing such chaos where you have people rioting in the streets. And when I'm talking in terms of race, I'm talking about political parties. There's certain rights that they're giving one side versus the other. Now, is that fair? Doesn't that go against the oppression and discrimination that many people are fighting for? In many ways, it's hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy. And a lot of you ain't seeing it. This is something that I need to touch on because people are lacking critical thinking skills. We see an incident that involves a police officer. And, a lot of these stories, these news stories that we see that get replayed over and over, it's always a police officer shooting a black man or some shit like that, right? Which, I'm not gonna listen. I think that a lot of these police officers, they need better training. I think a lot of these guys are not qualified to be police officers. I think that they make a lot of irresponsible mistakes. I think that situations could definitely be handled a lot better. But, I think that a lot of people, they don't put themselves in the shoes of some of these police officers. Like there's this expectation of these police officers not being human. And if you were to put yourself in that situation, you would realize how fast things happen. At the snap of a finger, something could happen. You have to make a decision. And in those high stress situations, what happens to your brain, it's a fight or flight type of thing where you have to make a split second decision. And that decision could cost you your life. You have to understand that a lot of these police officers have either witnessed or been in situations that they came seconds close of their life. And if you've never been through that, you will never understand that. Now, again, I'm not defending some of these guys' actions, but what's being shown to us is only from a certain angle, only aligns with a certain narrative. Because, like I said, there are thousands of instances that happen that cops are in situations, whether it's a bad situation or a good situation, that we don't see. There's situations where a cop may shoot a white man. Why don't we see that? Statistically speaking, white people get shot by the cops too, but the news will never show that. The news will never show when they're pulling somebody over and the driver of the car pulls out a gun on the cop and shoots him, kills him. You know how many incidents that like that happen? They never show it. And if you are able to find it, you really have to dig. So this notion of defund the police is idiotic. Because overall, police officers do a job that it's a tough job. And not everybody's equipped to for that line of work. To defund the police, man, you say that. And trust me, there's some fucked up cops out there, but I would say at least for the most part, listen, I'm going to say at least like 75% of police officers do their job the right way. Are they going to be perfect? No. But I think I would say at least 75% of them try to do their job the right way. And I think there was a time back in the day where they got away with a lot of shit. But I think now, for the most part, these guys, they do what they got to do, and they deal with a lot more things than just their interactions with black people. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things that we take for granted. They're out there on the streets keeping a lot of people safe. You know what I'm saying? And you say defund the police now until you or your loved one's house is being broken into and they're defenseless. That's something that you got to think about. So defund the police, but think about what these streets in this world would be without the police. It would be a goddamn free for all, and people just committing crimes, doing whatever the fuck they wanted to do. Even with COVID, pandemic, it's a weird time. I'm gonna say that it's a very weird time where, I understand that people have loved ones that they care about, and I'm sure it's tough for many people out there, but we have to put things into perspective. And when there are certain facts that come out and certain things that point towards, this being blown out of proportion, being over exaggerated, certain numbers being tampered with, the data isn't all factual. When you have a lot of these contradicting precautions and information coming from the people that should know all this, or maybe they don't. But I'll say this, when things don't add up, it gives you reason to question. And I always say the medical field, I respect in some ways, but in other ways, I trust my gut. Because I've been prescribed medicine that was unnecessary. A lot of these medications, you guys ever watch commercials and stuff, you would see that certain medications have certain side effects. Like, I'll be watching a commercial and they'll be going listen the fucking side effects for this medication meant to cure this one thing, but it's giving you like 10 different side effects, and some of those side effects are potential death. So when they're insinuating that for everybody to be safe and go back to normal, that everybody needs to take a certain medication, I don't even want to say the word, man, because I know it raises flags, but I'm gonna say this: you got to look at the numbers. Look at the numbers all around. You know what I'm saying? Not just with the number of cases, and use your critical thinking. And I'm gonna say that just certain things don't add up. They don't add up, and you got to be wary of that. You gotta take that into consideration. You can't just be naive and just listen to what a lot of these so-called scientists are just telling you, because there's a lot of false bullshit that's being over-exaggerated and blown out of proportion that is to me, it's irresponsible. It's irresponsible to put that type of information out there when on the back end, a lot of this is doing a lot more harm. You know what I'm saying? And it's getting to a point where, we live in the land of the free. You know what I'm saying? Where now our liberties are being assaulted. Our liberties are being taken away. This is, enough is enough. At some point, the majority of the people still want to go to work. The majority of people still want to go on with their lives. And you can't just hold people on house arrest and expect them not to live their lives anymore because of a very minuscule, a very small percentage of the population is being affected. So, that's what I'm going to say on that. I think that, when you look at the news and you look at, I would say this, I would say when you look at social media and movies and all these underlying themes when it comes to shaming masculine men, masculinity, in trying to emasculate men to a certain degree, man. You really gotta take note of that. If you notice movies now and TV shows, they all are doing things that are against manhood. You know what I'm saying? And they're empowering females to a certain point where it's normalizing the woman being the leader and the man being underneath her. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to complain about feminism. I'm not here to hate on the gay community or the trans community. Because to me, I'm all about people being free and doing whatever they want. But I'm against it being shoved down my throat and me having to agree with it. Me having to agree with these things and fake like they're normal. And having to teach my kids about them and having my kids make certain decisions. No, absolutely not. You know, my sex life, the way that I decide to live my sex life, that stays in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm not saying it stays in the bedroom, but I'm not publicizing it out there where I'm forcing it down everybody's throat. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's forced to accept the way that, the things that I do. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying, I'm seeing a lot of these underlying themes in social media. And then, God forbid if you have something to say about it, if you have a disagreement, I think everybody deserves to disagree with some of these things. Everybody has the right to disagree. I think disagreeing is good. I think that it offers people different perspectives, and it, I think that it gets people to be less sensitive. I think, a lot of us have to hear the truth. We have to hear the truth from many people, because what happens is when you are always trying to sugarcoat everything, you don't build a tolerance to hear truth anymore. So anytime you do hear truth, it's so hard hitting. And because you're not used to it, the truth is like, whoa, what's wrong with this person? I think it's important for us to voice our opinion and how we feel. And there shouldn't be things out there that are trying to stop you from doing that. And that's what I mean when it comes to this brainwashing that goes on and this censorship and only giving you access to certain information. It has an influence on impressionable minds. Young kids are like sponges. So this is all they see. And, is being normalized. I'm just saying, have your own opinion, be yourself, and there shouldn't be anything wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Don't be ashamed to be yourself and be ashamed to think the way you want to think. Going back to social media, a lot of, I'm going to get on men here. A lot of you guys see, how many of you guys are following a lot of these Instagram models? You see these Instagram models with these fake asses and, you're simping like a motherfucker. Ready to wife these bitches up, man. Ready to wife these bitches up. For what? Because she has a fake ass and she filtered her pics and photoshopped that shit to make it look, man, y'all are easily impressed. And it's crazy to me because that's the standard that men are having today, is just a woman with a fake ass, fake everything. Man, I once had a chick that had, she was made out of plastic. Her lips were done. Her ass was done, fake tits. And man, after I smashed, there was nothing there. It was after I smashed, man, it wasn't even like a rewarding feeling. I felt empty inside. Because I was like, man, I'm sitting with a fucking plastic doll here, man. Like, it felt like I might as well had a blow-up doll next to me and one of them sex robots. Like, I felt like me and this chick, like, there was nothing there for me to, for us to exchange ideas, to vibe, nothing. And, I was like, why am I wasting my time here? Why am I wasting my time doing this? You got to look at some of these females way beyond their looks. And the thing with the IG is that it's training a lot of young men to just qualify women just based off their looks and their exterior. It needs to be more than that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these things, honestly, these things that I've just mentioned are ruining the dynamics between men and women. And we're brainwashed to think that, there's an issue with men and women. Like when you see this Me Too movement that's out here going after men. Now, listen, I'm not here to cast aspersions, but I do find it funny the men that get accused. It's always a high profile guy that gets accused of sexually harassing or raping, or it's never, if you look at, if it's an athlete, right? It's never the guy that nobody knows about that's sitting at the end of the bench. It's never that guy. Even though he does have a certain level of status, it's always the high profile, quarterback or, NBA star, R&B singer that gets accused of this shit. And these women just come out the woodwork and we're just supposed to believe them. And a lot of this shit is causing this tension between men and women, where men are scared to holler at women and women are, apprehensive about men, and all this shit, man, is ruining the masculine feminine dynamic. Men are scared to holler. I remember when they had that Gillette commercial, man, where it was they had a Gillette commercial where they were talking about toxic masculinity. And I remember there was this one. I remember there was a scene in that commercial where this dude was gonna holler at a chick as he was crossing the street, and his boy got in front of him and was like, yo, what you doing, bro? Nah, that ain't right. Like making it seem like what he was doing was out of pocket. Like him hollering at a girl on the street was out of pocket, was inappropriate. And that blew my mind. It was like, yo, so let me get this straight. That's wrong, but we're celebrating. I'm pretty sure if it wasn't a heterosexual interaction, if it was a man or man or woman on woman, or it was some super, gay shit, that shit would be celebrated. But when it comes to a man and a woman, that's a problem. Men being the aggressors, and they're it's almost like they're trying to take us out of our natural state. You know what I'm saying? This is nature. How do you think that in nature a predator gets his prey? And I'm not trying to, compare women to prey and men to predators, but it kind of correlates, because we are the hunters and women like to be hunted. Women naturally like to be hunted. But when you're confusing a lot of these young minds out there and you're telling them that that's wrong, you're going against nature. I'm telling you, man, a lot of you guys need to have a mind of your own. Stop following this bullshit. It's bullshit. It's a fake world. It's an unnatural world. It's an evil world. These things need to be said. Nobody wants to hear them because we've been conditioned to think that they're normal, but they're not. These things are not normal. They got you following these rappers that all they talk about is doing drugs and flossing in a whip and having tons of jewelry on. Where's that going to get you besides broke and in jail? Just think about it. They're over here trying to make it seem like that's what, that's the goal. You think that's the goal? To just floss? Just floss on social media? What let me know what that's going to get you at the end of the day. Y'all think it's women, but really, like, women, the women that you will get aren't attracted to you. They're attracted to that shit. They're attracted to all the flash because see, women love attention. So if a woman looks at you, she's looking at you as a mark. Like, she's looking at you like as a ticket to get that type of shit. So it's like she's looking at you. Oh, I wonder what he could get me. He could get me a purse. And those women that think that way are low value women. They're low value. So you're over here trying to impress women. And if you're not trying to impress women, another thing that men are always trying to do is impress other dudes. So all this is all based off of you getting attention, which is feminine as a man. You know what I'm saying? But even women, I said this the other day. Women, it's like attention for them is like crack. They can't go without it. So we gravitate toward these things that they're just for attention. I remember back in the day, man, I felt like even dudes that did their dirt in the street and, did sold drugs or whatever, that there was always a purpose to get paid, man. They were hustling. They wanted that bread they wanted that bread because they were hungry for it. And I could respect the hustle. I didn't knock it. But today, a lot of these people are just hustling for notoriety. They're just hustling for likes on Instagram and just to say that they're doing this and doing that. Just to floss and impress other men? Come on, man. Where's the logic in that? And you're willing to risk putting yourself in jail just to stunt? Come on. These are things I need to address, man. I have to address them because nobody's addressing them. And if they do try to address them, they get censored, banned. Hopefully this message reaches out, man. Hopefully it reaches out because a lot of you guys need to hear it. It's the social media world we live in where people feel comfortable talking any sort of way over social media. It's fake. And you know how you know it's fake? Because when people get in the comment section or they want to talk crazy over somebody over social media, I bet you that same person ain't talking to that person like that in real life. Like in real life, nobody talks like they do on social media in the real world. Nobody talks that way. Trust me, them Twitter fingers are crazy. Twitter fingers, you know what I mean? The Twitter fingers that turn to trigger fingers. They're crazy. But those same people, man, I guarantee you they pussy in real life. They want to squash a grape in real life. And that's why I say it's a fake world and we have to stop believing this nonsense. You have to have a mind of your own. You have to have a critical mind. Because if not, a lot of this shit is going to lead to your own demise. Like I said, we're in a world of manipulation. These people on the top, they don't give a fuck about you. These governors and politicians and all that shit, these motherfuckers do not care about you. It's all for their own gain, their own money and power. And I'm gonna say this: I'm not trying to make this seem like I'm taking one side or the other, but truthfully, over the last couple of years, I've always been politically moderate. You know what I'm saying? I've always tried to be objective and, realize that both sides are fucked up when it comes to their political leaders and their motives. But I'm gonna tell you, over the last couple of years, there's this one side, man, that is causing the divisiveness that they're complaining about. They talk about having a freedom of speech, but they're trying to stop others from speaking their opinions. They talk about oppression, but they want to oppress others to live a certain way. They want to tell others how they should think and feel. When we're in the land of the free, man, I'm grateful that I was born in this country and was able to experience the things that in other countries they don't they wish they only could dream of. I'm grateful to experience these things, and I don't take them for granted whatsoever. Do you think I have any room to complain where other people live in certain countries where they can't even speak? If they speak against the government, they'll get put in jail. Nah, I enjoy my freedom, but let me tell you this: I don't enjoy people that are here trying to change those things and turn them into something else. Have us live like they're living in other countries. There's a reason that everybody comes here. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, with this social media, it's just confusing everybody's mind and making it seem like things here are bad when they're not. I never wake up and I think to myself, damn, this president is fucking my day up. Nah. I don't wake up any day feeling like, damn, because of my color, skin, I can only do so much. Nah, I'm a go-getter. I don't make excuses. You know what I'm saying? Who am I to tell somebody that? I can only imagine if I had a son and I told him, yo, it's just going to be rough for you because of your color of skin. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here with that nonsense. Why would I spew that poison into a young mind? What kind of, confidence is that? This is going to be my most important video. And I hope it hits home. I hope it hits home for many of y'all, because a lot of you guys need to hear this. Many of y'all will shut it off maybe 5 minutes into it. I don't give a fuck. It needs to be said. Like I said, man, turn up. Hey, if you can, delete your social media. Get off that shit. Unless you're using it for business purposes, get off that shit. Don't watch the news. Do not watch the news. If you heard something happen that it's outside of a lot of this nonsense, just search it. Do some research with yourself. But I would say trust your own instincts. Trust your own instincts. Trust your gut. You know what I'm saying? You got to refresh that mind of yours and get yourself thinking at your natural state, not somebody that's trying to fuck with your natural way of being and who you are as a person. That's all I got to say. I hope you guys listen to the information and are considering it. I'm out. Peace.